In the headlines, 10 days after End Bad Governance protest, a wave of reactions continues to follow the movement. A humanitarian worker tragically shot dead in Makurdi. Individuals with disabilities in Gombe expressed dissatisfaction over what they perceive as unfair allocation of food palliatives. And on the foreign scene, death toll from Uganda rubbish dump collapse climbs to 18. A very good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. My name is Sakir Ibrahim. And to details now, 10 days after reactions have begun to trail the End Bad Governance in Nigeria protest. In this report, Trust TV interacts with citizens, the civil society and opposition voices to gauge their opinions on the effectiveness of the over 1 week continuous nationwide demonstrations, which took a violent turn in some states. Take a look.
We are hungry! We are hungry!
The nationwide protests are over. However, the questions on the lips of many is whether it yielded the required results. Some residents in the federal capital, Abuja, during their interaction with Trust TV expressed mixed reactions on the outcomes of the mass action.
To me, the protests have no any meaning to me. That's my perspective. I don't see anything because finally the thing is going to end it with the poor masses. Because had him been the president did not say anything about it, I could have said yes, there is any benefit, but the president has shown a lot of concern.
For me, it has not done any positive change because before the protest there has been fuel scarcity and the increase in fuel price, increase in foodstuff in the market, increase of school fees. I listened to the president's speech. It was nothing to write on for me because it did not really answer the question why we came out to protest.
I want to believe that they heard our voices, and I just want to believe that and also appeal to Nigerians to be patient. Maybe we should give them second chance to see how they respond to the protest. Then if they don't respond positively, then I think 2027 is just by the corner. Then we vote them out.
They will have no any gain because the security agent not allowed to protest. And we have freedom to protest, but the government not allowed to protest. So we are using this opportunity to beg Mr. President to remove the sausage, to make us to have peace in Nigeria, have rest in Nigeria. Because we are dying, our children are dying for hunger.
I think there's no gain. They've not answered us. We don't see the difference. We are not seeing any changes. We just did protests and we went back home. We were relaxing. Okay, look, okay. They will say, okay, no problem. We'll fix this. This will happen. That will happen. The price of this will come down. The price of this. But we've not even had anything from them.
The hardship is still there, and the fuel, the rate of the fuel is still the same where it is before the protest, and after the protest, the fuel is still the same where it is. Meaning that the presidency has done nothing to stop the protest.
In their responses, Mukhtar Modibo, a transparency and accountability advocate, as well as Segun Shomi, a chieftain in the People's Democratic Party, say the pre-planned nature of the demonstrations gave the government enough time to react, some of which were evident in the body language of the government on the eve of the mass demonstration.
There are a lot of impact before it even started, because it's something that government anticipated, because the date and everything was communicated, and then you could see a lot of changes. I know there have been a lot of difference from that time. To some extent, it has really communicated that the people have the power to do that, and the people sort of have gone out to show their concern. To some extent, that protest has really achieved something.
I have learned not to expect too much from people who do not take advantage of time. That protest was well advertised, and therefore, if they wanted to de-escalate, say things and speak and even act, there was a bit of time. They could have caught some of their privileges. Some of the criminal activities, looting and all of that happened in certain area is also indicative of how those areas need to be better administered and better managed. These are indicative of the fact that a comprehensive reorientation exercise is now due.
The stakeholders, however, had varying submissions on what to expect 10 days after.
It has given young people more time to sit back, reflect on what happened, put up their demands, and see how we can push that demand for government to take the demands serious. The leaders of the protest need to come together, itemize their own demands, and see how they can push the demand for dialogue. And let's see the dialogue and where the dialogue will take us.
Nobody will be allowed to motivate us, instigate us, overwhelm us into destroying our country. We draw that line. We have gotten to a point now where we must now demand more from our local government chairmen and our governors, not necessarily by protest, but by just showing a higher level of interest in how activities are run there, how our funds are done, and the policies and the programs. In a democracy, the day of the ballot is the day of protest. If a government is running a policy and the policy is not working, they still have a right to run it up till the end of their tenure. Since we are not unfeeling, we can get ourselves ready for the next opportunity to vote them, or at least give them the results of how they have ruled us.
As questions around the future of citizens and their demand for government intervention to ease their sufferings rages on, it is left to be seen what becomes of the entire conversation in the coming days, weeks, months, and even years.
And in a recent statement, Vice President Kashim Shatima emphasized the urgent need for a complete overhaul in Nigeria following widespread protest against hunger by the youth. He expressed concern over the accumulation of problems in the country leading to destruction of lives and properties. Shatima highlighted the prevalence of poverty, corruption, and poor leadership, urging for a transformation to restore respect for values and authority. He reassured that the government will work towards a better future for the upcoming generations, drawing inspiration from past leaders who worked hard for the nation's progress. Shatima urged youth to challenge the flawed political system and emphasized the importance of parents' involvement in guiding their children. The message resonated with other speakers at the event, calling for education and empowerment of the youth to build a better society. The graduating pupils were encouraged to uphold integrity, work hard, and positively impact their communities. And the family of 21-year-old Ahmed Yusuf Muhammad denies his involvement in the mass production of the Russian flag in Kano. According to his brother Nasiru Yusuf Muhammad, Ahmed is not a tailor and has never used a sewing machine. Ahmed, who works in water sachet recycling, was mistakenly arrested, possibly due to trauma of fear-induced statements. The family urges authorities to investigate the case thoroughly and release Ahmed, as he is innocent and not connected to the offense he is accused of. Also, the commander of Operation Hardin K, Major General Waidi Shuaibu, had expressed confidence in achieving significant successes against the adversities and terrorists disrupting peace and socio-economic activities in the Northeast region. He made this statement during the graduation and commissioning of the Theatre Command Training School and the renovation of the Defense Company Transit Complex at Maimalari Cantonment in Maiduguri. General Shuaibu emphasized that the Nigerian Army's mandate to protect the nation's sovereignty requires soldiers and officers to maintain a high level of professionalism to achieve better operational outcomes and address counterinsurgency challenges. He also called on Nigerians to cooperate with the army by sharing intelligence that would aid in ending terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping across the country.
Within the theater, your role is ever more crucial. Your ability to train and mentor others during this West's operation will routinely contribute to overall success. The knowledge and experience you gain are invaluable assets that will help you to survive in the field and will also help others to lead as well. The soldiers you train will carry the training with them in every mission. They will rely on the skills and knowledge that will imparted on them in moments of great pressure and uncertainty. This is why your role is crucial and why I urge you to maintain the highest standards of professionalism and integrity in everything we do.
A humanitarian worker and executive director of Concerned Youth Development Initiative, Chris Tefa, has been reportedly killed by gunmen near Logo 1 Axis in Makurdi Metropolis, Benue State. The deceased was reportedly gunned down on Friday evening by the assailants who allegedly tracked him to his office in Makurdi. Tefa's killers also reportedly shot at the security man on duty while trying to gain access into the office premises. Witnesses said that Tefa was rushed to the hospital after the gunmen fled, but was confirmed dead on arrival. His corpse was said to have been deposited at the morgue of the Benue State University Teaching Hospital in Makurdi. The police public relations officer, SP Catherine Anene, had yet to confirm the incident as her telephone line was not reachable. Also, the Ogun State Police Command has confirmed the apprehension of 4 suspects allegedly linked to the homicide of a barber in Isaleoja, Kuto, Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, purportedly perpetrated by suspected cultists last Wednesday. Commissioner of Police Abiodun Alamutu disclosed that the arrests were made in response to a separate assault carried out by a rival cult faction on Friday night, resulting in the tragic demise of Fatai Kende, a 48-year-old point-of-service operator beneath the Kuto Bridge in Abeokuta. The slain POS operator, identified as Fatai and the son of the Bale of Kuto community in Abeokuta, reportedly suffered a brutal demise at the hands of his pursuers, who relentlessly chased him from his shop within the Kuto market to the underbelly of the Kuto Bridge. Alamutu conveyed that a manhunt for other individuals involved in these incidents is underway, underscoring the unequivocal resolve of law enforcement to ensure that criminals find no refuge within the state. He emphatically stated that all perpetrators linked to these horrendous acts will be brought to justice. The persistent challenge of court-related violence and rampant killings continues to plague various regions in the state, despite the amnesty initiative extended by the police to urge cultists and criminal elements to renounce their affiliations. Also, people with disabilities in Gombe have expressed deep frustration over what they perceive as the biased distribution of food palliatives in the state. Their concerns come in the wake of the state government's recent announcement of another round of palliatives, which were meant to include provisions specifically for individuals with disabilities. Despite these promises, many within the community feel marginalized, believing that the aid has not reached those who need it most. This perceived neglect has only heightened their sense of exclusion and vulnerability, adding to the challenges they already face daily. Trust TV's Hassan Koli has more.
Last week, the state government announced a new round of food palliatives aimed at assisting vulnerable groups, including people with disabilities. However, there are growing concern among some members of the community who claim that these palliatives will never reach them. Suleiman, a person with disability from the Umbia ward in Gombe local government, expressed his doubt, stating that the food palliatives have not reached him in any form. His experience reflects a broader sentiment of skepticism and disappointment among those who feel overlooked in the distribution process. I am a person with disability, which qualifies me to benefit from the distribution. It may surprise you to learn that I have never received any food palliatives, either through our union or local distribution here in our ward, even though they are aware of my existence. This situation appears to be clearly biased by the distributing committee, in my opinion. Suleiman, alias Baba Ogurgu, urged the state government to monitor the sharing formula of the palliative, especially at the ward level. I am urging anyone who is attempting to omit my name from the beneficiaries list to desist, as I am in need. I know that there are people on the committee who do not want me to benefit from any palliatives. The state government should be aware of such individuals. This plea highlight the growing anxiety among those who feel marginalized in the distribution process and raises concern about the transparency and fairness of the aid distribution. There have been persistent accusations, particularly from the opposition, that food palliatives are being distributed exclusively to members of the ruling party. These claims have repeatedly surfaced despite the state government's firm denials on several occasions. The controversy has fueled suspicions and further complicated the already tense atmosphere surrounding the distribution of aid. From Gombe, Hassan Koli, reporting for Trust TV.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. Due to economic pressure, 63-year-old Benue man makes ends meet selling roasted corn. This and other stories when we return. Join us again.
When I say businessmen, I mean businessmen and women. They are driven by profit motive. But what the government can do, which is also what they've started doing, is to see how they can also come in and be part of that competition.
I mean, the tech sector is so exciting and vibrant, and this is one of those areas where I think Nigeria pulls so much of the investment on the continent of the venture capital because of the vibrance and the dynamism of the Nigerian tech sector.
For me, it's utter selfishness, because if you look at anybody who is against educating a woman, he's not against educating his own daughter. His own daughter, more or less, will be educated in whatever form of education.
We're not talking about election, we're talking about governance and national unity.
The person who took over after me didn't have that courage to look people in authority in the face and say, I won't do. Because most people believe that when they get positions, a favor has been done to them.
You cannot look at somebody's face and know what ideology is in his mind. Good people must join hands to fight evil. The mistake we think is it is only the military should do it. No. Let me tell you a shocking thing. Who are the people funding those guys? Who are the people giving them money? Who are the people giving them logistics to work? People are trading with them.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Thanks for staying with the news update on Trust Television. Here's a recap of our top stories again. 10 days following the End Bad Governance in Nigeria protest, a wave of reactions continues to follow the movement. And also, a humanitarian worker tragically shot dead in Makurdi, Benue State. Moving to other stories now, it is uncommon to see elderly men in Nigeria engaging in the roasted corn selling trade. However, in the capital city of Makurdi, Benue State, a 63-year-old man defies this norm. In a conversation with Trust TV's Jimmy Azande, he shares his passion for the business and his determination to continue thriving in it. Here's the report.
The man, Godwin Chaga, may have been around for a while in the city of Makurdi, but not many have encountered him. Today, his choice of roasted corn business has made him popular in Benue State and beyond. Proudly called International Barber, he dresses smartly before settling into his business for each day.
Why I go into this business is because I have passion. I have passion for maize. I like roasted maize. Particularly, I like it. I used to buy it and eat. Then instead I said, then let me be doing it myself and be marketing it to my whole staff and the students. The economy, the market is very difficult now because before we used to buy this bag of corn 3,000, 4,000, but now it's 18,000, 19,000, and even 20,000. When you buy it, you can't make enough profit because of the cost, because it is costly. You can sometimes I used to say 22,000, sometimes I used to say 25, highest 25.
He says he loves the business. That is why he's been proactive and innovative to maximize profit.
If I have resources, I will farm the corn by myself, and then I will taking it from my farm and be marketing it instead of buying from the middleman. When farmers brought it, bring it from the farm, the middleman used to take from them and say to us, we don't buy directly to the farmers. That's the problem.
Because of the influx of customers to his stand on a daily basis, sometimes his daughter comes around to lend him a helping hand. She's proud of her father and urges young people to emulate his example.
In business, for 5 years now I've been doing it. So my advice to them that they should find something doing. Actually, they should be doing some kind of things that will make them, at least they have some money to do what they want to do.
Let them have passion on one thing they like and then continue to do it instead of just roaming about.
Baba is jovial and accommodating to his customers, who are never disappointed coming to patronize him. One of the customers told Trust TV that he saw the man on social media and decided to see things for himself.
And I saw a week ago, Okankulu posted him how that he's selling and so having finished from a football pitch, I said let me pass and see. And I can see that he's indeed selling. Now I decided to buy with him. Such an expert seller. And that was very interesting. In the way he attended to me, he spoke very jovial, very customary, and that's interesting. He's good at that.
In Benue State, particularly among the Tiv people, it is rare to see a man of Baba's age in business, let alone saddling roasted corn. He said taking up this business is partly to enable him meet up with the challenges of economic downturn in Nigeria at the moment, adding that this should be an encouragement to residents who are probably not doing enough to cope with the rising cost of commodities and services. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Well, there you have it. And also, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's recent nationwide operation resulted in the seizure of multi-billion naira worth of cocaine concealed in a variety of items, including heavy-duty automobile pivot shafts, Ghanaian fabric, kente, and other materials. The Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, announced this significant bust in a statement shared on the agency's website on Sunday. Additionally, the agency intercepted 2.32 kilograms of cocaine at a courier firm in Lagos and recovered 10.494 kilograms of cocaine at the same logistics company. The agency also reported the seizure of 517 grams of cocaine, pentazocine injection, promethazine injection, cocodamol pills, and tramadol pills. In a separate operation, member of a cocaine trafficking network, Obiora Joseph Agudosi, was apprehended with 9 kilograms of cocaine. 2 other members of a cocaine syndicate based in Nnewi and Oba Town, Anambra State, were also arrested with 2.865 kilograms and 1.748 kilograms of cocaine, respectively. Furthermore, in Adamawa State, 425 compressed blocks of cannabis sativa weighing 291.200 kilograms were seized, leading to the arrest of several suspects, including the owner of the cannabis farm, Danjuma Maji. The NDLEA chairman, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, praised the officers for their efforts and encouraged them to persist in their fight against drug cartels. And on the international scene now, the death toll from a landslide at a vast garbage dump in the Ugandan capital, Kampala, has risen to 18, police said on Sunday, amid claims the site was a disaster waiting to happen. Local media said homes, people, and livestock were engulfed in mountains of waste at the landfill in the northern Kampala district of Kitizi on Saturday after a collapse caused by heavy downpours. President Yoweri Museveni said he had directed the Army Special Forces to help in the search and rescue operation and demanded to know who allowed people to live near such a potentially hazardous and dangerous heap. Kampala's Metropolitan Police spokesman Patrick Onyango told reporters at the scene that 14 bodies had been recovered on Saturday and another 4 on Sunday. He gave no breakdown, but on Saturday, the Kampala Capital City Authority, which operates the landfill, had given a death toll of 8, including 2 children. Earlier, Onyango told AFP that an estimated 1,000 people were displaced and that the police were working with other government agencies and community leaders to see how to help those affected. Excavators were still churning through huge mounds of rubbish on Sunday as crowds of local residents looked on, some wailing in despair. Lukwago had on Saturday raised concerns about the safety of the 36-acre Kitizi landfill, which was established in 1996 and takes in almost all garbage collected across Kampala. And in sports, Chelsea have completed a £54 million move for Wolverhampton Wanderers forward Pedro Neto. The 24-year-old has signed a 7-year deal with the Blues until 2031. The Portuguese forward was presented to supporters at Stamford Bridge on Sunday at halftime during a friendly against Italian side Inter Milan. Chelsea struck a deal with Wolves on Friday after having 2 bids rejected. The Blues will pay an initial £51.3 million for Neto, with a further £2.6 million in add-ons. Neto, who joined Wolves from Lazio in 2019, scored 14 goals in 135 appearances in the West Midlands. The transfer is a record sale for Wolves, eclipsing the £47 million they received from Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal in 2023 for Ruben Neves. Neto's arrival takes Chelsea's summer spending to around £185 million. Midfielder Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, Renato Vega and Omari Kellyman, goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen, defenders Tosin Aderabio, Aaron Anselmino and Caleb Weasley, winger Estevao William and striker Mark Guy have all joined so far. The club hopes to add Atletico Madrid forward Samu Omorodion and Genk goalkeeper Mike Penders in the coming days. And that wraps up the news update at this hour. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social platforms. My name is Sagir O'Brien. Thanks for watching.